The last order to pick up tickets for the football event of the Olympic Games coming up in Rio next year begins today with the African Under-23 Championship, where we will have the top 3 finishers picking up tickets to the football event of the Olympic Games in Rio. The Nigerian Under-23 team, the dream team under coach Samson Siasia, they are in the championship, and we expect to see them get through to the semi-final and even to the final of the African Under-23 Championship, and of course pick a ticket to the Rio Olympic Games football event. Of course, back home we saw the Federations Cup, where Akwa United lifted the trophy for the first time, and the first time that trophy is going to Akwa Ibom State. And then to the UEFA Champions League, where the likes of Chelsea and Arsenal will still have to fight till the last game of this group stage to see how they can get to the last 16 of the tournament. It will of course be another weekend of league games in Europe, as we expect very great fixtures in England, Spain, Germany, and a few other European countries. All attention, as usual, will be in the English Premiership. We'll be bringing you all those highlights today on another exciting edition of Hot Sports.
The English Premiership is arguably the most exciting league in the world, serving mouth-watering excitement each week. This week should be no exception as we look out for more thrills, goals and upsets. Today, Manchester City will be hosting Southampton, hoping to get back to the peak of the log with a win. Southampton would, however, hope to bounce back from last week's loss to Stoke City. Leicester City are top of the log against all expectations, and they would be putting their title-chasing credentials on the line against Manchester United. On Sunday, the world waits to see if truly Chelsea have turned the corner when they are guests of Tottenham Hotspurs in the London Derby. Spurs currently lie 5th on the table and are 10 points ahead of Chelsea. If Chelsea, who are expected to be without John Terry, manage a win, it will be the first time this season they've managed 2 consecutive league wins. Jurgen Klopp leads Liverpool against Swansea City in a game many expect them to win. Will the Klopp Cup party continue? Can Arsenal take advantage of any slip-up at the top when they take on lowly Norwich City? These questions will birth answers on Sunday. Other matches are Bournemouth vs Everton. Aston Villa play host to Odeon Igalo's Watford. Crystal Palace play Newcastle, and Stoke City are guests at Sam Allardyce's Sunderland, while on Sunday, West Ham will play West Bromwich Albion. Barcelona are 4 points clear at the top after a resounding 4-0 thrashing of Real Madrid last weekend, and a 6-1 spanking of Roma in the UEFA Champions League. The will on Saturday look to maintain their run when they host Real Sociedad at the new camp. With 10 goals from 2 matches and Messi fully back, it is hard seeing Sociedad escaping a beating in this tie. Atletico Madrid, who have climbed into the second spot on the log, will on Saturday be hosts to Espanyol. Real Madrid are still smarting from a 4-0 loss to Barcelona, and they almost threw away a 4-0 lead against Shakhtar Donetsk in the Champions League, winning 4-3. Los Blancos will look to put all this behind them by making a statement of intent with a resounding win when they lock horns with Eibar on Sunday.
Current world footballer, Messi. From Baka, you understand? You know Messi, my man. I'm Paddy, but senior Ramo. But sorry, he senior me. I love him so much.
I should be the Williams sisters, definitely. Because I know that one very well because I'm in love with Serena. You see, she has the attributes that I like in a woman. A woman has to know her grounds. You know, when she stands, she stands. She knows how to make decisions when So Serena Williams, Venus Williams, forget the face. I don't care. I'm not a facial person. Facial recognition is not important. I'm not an international passport. I like Serena because she stands well. They definitely are Nigerians. You can't be that skilled. You can't be that talented. You cannot have that kind of grounds as a black American and not have a little bit of Nigerian heritage in you. The Williams sisters are the biggest black tennis players to ever grace the game, and I do not think in my own lifetime, in my own generation, that would ever have two female black tennis players like the Williams sisters.
What's my friend's name again? A biker, I should think. What's his? Armstrong. Something. What's the other name? Anyway, Armstrong, who fought against the system or the accusations, but when some of his team members came out and confessed to using using some substance or some technology that aided their performances. After a while, he didn't have a choice but to accept and to confess. And I think it brings great courage. I think the first time I heard his confession was on Oprah's show. I think it's great courage about being truthful, being honest, and I know that he feels kind of free because they say the truth will certainly set you free, and he feels free. I encourage other cheaters, as it were, in sports to come out, because the reason it is sports is because apart from the fairness of competing amongst other persons, you're also supposed to compete on fair grounds, to know your limitations and your strength, and also sports aids health. And if we add substances, such illegal substances, to aid our performance, it is no longer sport, it's no longer health, it's no longer friendship, it does not promote fairness. In a world where we are endlessly, ceaselessly trying to redefine what democracy is, sports has provided the only platform for defining fairness and for what is democratic.
Coach of Manchester, I know his name. Hey! 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 Fakosi. Fakosi. That man with the like the shooting gun. Fakosi, I mean.
Which athlete won gold for Nigeria in long jump at the Atlanta 96 Olympics?
Brothers, I not tell you lie. If I say I remember the lie, I joke I remember like this. I not remember that one, obvious. Men are obvious, I not remember that one.
Message for your fans.
Yeah, to all my fans, first of all, I want to thank you for your support and everything, for the love, the prayers and everything. And expect more from me. You have not seen anything yet. We still have things to show. I just started now, so my future still, you understand? I still carry things for body.
I'm one of those few artists who really do not believe that I have fans. I believe that I have friends. And for my friends in the industry, there's so many things that I'm cooking up. Working on a new sitcom, that's one. Also working on a few TV programs. There's one that I'm particularly looking at right now. A few sponsors are talking to me. It's called The Artist and His Wheels. It's getting different artists to speak about their in-depth knowledge of the kind of car that they drive. You have to have a good knowledge of your car as a person. And so we're going to be talking about the cars and the kind of things that the cars do for them and why they choose to drive that car.
Hot Sports cranks up the heat this Saturday with fresh sports news and incisive analysis backed by exciting visuals. Hot Sports, your unique source of sport information, education and entertainment, inimitably delivered via hot, scorching argument where no one blinks. Don't miss it.
Well, to the main issue on Hot Sports, we have been reflecting on the Super Eagles Swaziland game. And of course, before that game, there was this incentive by the Rivers State government that for each goal scored, the Eagles will get $20,000. And of course, the Eagles really worked hard, one would say, considering the fact that the match was very difficult. They got 2 goals, and that is an equivalent of $40,000, which was given to them at a reception in Port Harcourt. We are asking on the program today, is that incentive worth the effort? Do they really need to be given $20,000 per goal to motivate them to beat a team like Swaziland. That is the main issue on Hotsports this weekend.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria on Tuesday, 17th November 2015 defeated the Silango Somnikati of Swaziland 2-0 at the Adokia Mesimaka Stadium to qualify for the group stage of the FIFA Russia 2018 World Cup qualifiers. That beat was expected as Swaziland are regarded as minnows in African and global football. Not many will say they were satisfied with the way the Super Eagles played and the manner the victory came. Of course, there are still some negatives, but Sunday Olise is an experienced ex-international and it's a matter of time before those rough edges are smoothened. Our prayer is that it happens soon because the look up north shows a well-oiled Egyptian team who happen to be in our Nations Cup qualifying group doing the business against the smaller teams. The issue, however, is the Rivers State government offered $20,000 as an incentive for every goal scored. It was supposed to serve as a motivation for a team that has in recent times struggled for goals. The boys went on to score 2 goals and were rewarded with $40,000. Did it serve its purpose? Was it right or wrong? Is it the way to go? Is it sustainable? $20,000 per goal may sound outlandish in these harsh economic times, especially as the game was against lowly Swaziland. But considering that the Super Eagles labored to victory, it is safe to say that the team needs some form of motivation beyond pep talks. Whatever it is, it needs to be found very quickly as tougher games lie ahead.
And of course, to trash the main issue on Hotsports today will be Chukwuka Izwegbuna and Chijioke Ezeali.
There's been so much hue and cry over the $20,000 per goal promised the Super Eagles ahead of their game against Swaziland. So many people have made noise saying it's too small. Some have said it's not right. But in my opinion, I think it's a normal thing to do to try to ginger people to do better than they can do, or to make them reach heights that looks unachievable. And I think that's what that promise was intended to do, and that's what it achieved. Yes, some may say the money is too small, some may say it's too big, but no matter what the amount is, no matter what the promise is, I think the whole idea behind the promise is what matters. Will it ginger the players to go the extra mile to achieve a goal? Yes, and that for me is what we should be looking at. Not saying that he shouldn't have given them, promised them money, or he shouldn't have pushed them in one direction or the other. The whole idea is to motivate the boys, and the boys were motivated, and they got the victory.
Was the Rivers State government right to actually promise the Super Eagles $20,000 during the Swaziland game? I don't think it's right. For a game for that magnitude, to promise them $20,000 for beating Swaziland. What happens when we play countries like Egypt? What happens when we play bigger countries? I don't think it's right to want to motivate boys of that standard to beat Swaziland, ordinary Swaziland, minnows in African football, with $20,000. That money equivalent to our money is 4 million naira. I mean, you are giving them, what if they had gone on to score 10 goals in that game? You give them 40 million naira in one particular game. Or what are we trying to motivate here? I don't think it is right, basically. I think it is very wrong. I think there are other ways to motivate our players. If the boys come to camp, they should be ready to play for the national team and defend the national colours. The Super Eagles of Nigeria, most of them are professional players based abroad, and they earn very well already. These guys earn good money weekly from their clubs, and some of them earn a lot more than what what their bonuses are for the Super Eagles. For instance, take Mikel Obi, he already earns about £80 million in a week. So what will the £20,000 do to motivate such a player?
My friend Chijoke has made some valid points, which I might agree with. But in these circumstances, I would not totally agree with him. Yes, we say that the Super Eagles, they should normally do this, what they do for the national team. They should do it without being given any incentive. It's their job. Yes, even in your job, you get incentives to make you do the job better. And for the love of God, the Super Eagles, we must be truthful with ourselves. No longer the Super Eagles that we used to know. This is not the team of '94 that was conquering the whole of Europe. We've noticed that in recent times we've struggled. We struggle to beat teams that we ordinarily will beat. And for us to say they are minnows in football, yes, they are minnows in football on paper. But when you get to the pitch and you don't do what you ought to do, then that tag totally disappears. We saw Ghana struggle against Comoros. So the idea of that they are minnows in football, for me, yes and no. To motivate the Super Eagles, I think, was a normal thing to do. It happens in all spheres of life. In businesses, in offices, you send soldiers to the battlefront. You promise them incentives that makes them go into the front and do beyond the ordinary. Yes, on a good day, the Super Eagles will play teams like Swaziland. We're expected to beat them, but when they are not doing things like that, considering we played the first leg, it was a goalless draw. You need to motivate these players. You need to get them firing on all cylinders. And for Wike and for this side of the world where we believe that money does a lot of things, I think, irrespective of how much they earn, money will still ginger them to go the extra mile. $20,000.
It pains my heart that we always talk about minnows in football. We always say there are no minnows in football. For crying out loud, take a San Marino, go and play Spain. You will know there are minnows in world football. Yes, upsets happen once in a while, but we can't be folding our arms. We don't want to play teams like Switzerland. We don't need a motivation of $20,000 per goal. Not even for match bonuses, per goal to win that particular game. For me, it's absurd, and I think it is very wrong for the River State government to actually go to that length to want to motivate these boys. And mind you, that the motivation you called it was even more like an obstacle because it weighed more on the minds of the boys, and they were selfish on the day and even couldn't score.
I try and look at it from my point of view. We're talking of two different climes. Even within these two different climes, we still see big boys struggle against the small boys, so-called small boys. It happens. During this, we've seen Portugal struggle against teams like Luxembourg. We've seen things like that happen. And it's happening to us here. We shouldn't deny that. We played against Tanzania, we couldn't score. We played against Swaziland, we couldn't score. We played against other teams. Egypt that beat Chad 5-1 the first leg in the World Cup qualifiers. They lost to Chad 1-0.
And they came back and beat them black and blue.
Yes, that
to
was
show
why.
to show you that there are minnows in football. And Chadian football has really grown. If you look, they are way better than the Swaziland team that we played. So
Yes.
if the Egyptian government had gone to that level to motivate Egypt to beat Chad with that sort of incentive, I bet you there have been chaos in that country. But
Chijoke, you must agree with me that based on the antecedents of what had happened, we needed to find a way of getting these boys to play as well as we believe they could. And there was nobody who was coming out to try to motivate these boys. And the River State governor took it upon himself that, okay, if there's nobody coming out, let me stand up and try and ginger these boys. And what did he think? In these climbs, there's no matter how much you earn, you still want more. And we always stand up to a challenge. And when he said $20,000 per goal, it was to create an atmosphere where fans come into the stadium and enjoy a game. They see plenty of goals. We were expecting plenty of goals, considering it was Swaziland. And we should be thankful that we scored 2.
We should be thankful that we scored 2 against the Swaziland team. I think that's disrespectful to even say for the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
I think we're over-respecting the Super Eagles.
The Super Eagles might not be the Super Eagles of old, but the Super Eagles we have now are good enough to beat the Swaziland team. They benched Mikel Obi in that particular game to tell you that we have rich talents in Nigeria.
No.
Yes, now I don't set of boys. Those set of boys need motivation to now, in terms of goals per match, to now go and beat a Swaziland team. I don't think so, my brother. I think the Super Eagles only needs a word from their coach, needs a psychological pep talk, and they would go and beat the Swaziland team.
We've seen that pep talk several times. You talk and talk. Nigerians don't understand talk.
I don't think so. These guys are professional footballers we're talking about here.
Yes,
They are professional footballers. They know their job.
Professional footballers who went to Tanzania couldn't score 1 goal.
Yes.
Professional footballers who went to this same Swaziland couldn't score 1 and almost conceded. And now we're saying that someone promising them to something to make them bring out these goals, score these goals.
I don't think it would be it's right to, because the River State government promised money and he said nobody came out and he wanted to motivate them. I don't think it's right to take it from that angle.
So what would you have suggested that they do?
It's basic. It's basic. It's simple. It's based. The coach himself doesn't know his best 11. It was obvious that if he had played the right team, he would have beaten these boys more than we did.
Which was
fine.
Why that incentive was,
he didn't need. I'm saying he does not need incentives. All he needed was a better formation, a better pep talk, and they will beat this team. Now we've played the match, we finished the match. Nigeria won by 2-0, and we can't get past the talk of motivating them by with $20,000. We're not even talking about what formation the coach played, how the coach won the game, but we're talking about the money, because that's what the government wants you to see, and that's what you are already talking about. So for me, it is unnecessary. For me, it is not worth it, and they should stop that. We're not playing the World Cup. That wasn't the World Cup final.
It would have been a disaster if we played a 2-2 in that game.
We did qualify.
We'll be out.
Would it have been the first time? Would it have been the first time Nigeria didn't go to the major tournament?
This is not qualifying for a major tournament. This is qualifying for the group stage.
Of the one that will take us to a major tournament.
Yeah, it would have been a disaster. It's one thing for us not to qualify for the World Cup.
Yes.
It's another thing not to even qualify for the stages where we get to play for the ticket proper, which was what would have happened, and would have dropped further in the rankings.
In which we're not even doing well before.
Yes.
My take is simple. We don't need such motivation.
We've not reached rock bottom. We don't have to reach rock bottom.
We don't have to reach rock bottom to motivate ourselves to beat a team like Swaziland.
When you're down, you just need to find a way to ginger yourself.
I think it's absurd that we have to go to this length to make the boys play better against the Swaziland team.
Are you saying that the Super Eagles are not down now?
The Super Eagles maybe are not playing the best football that they used to play
in terms
the
of
past.
Results. I'm not even talking of in terms of style of play.
In terms of results, they are doing very well. In terms of the results, maybe in terms of style of play.
You played so-called minnows twice in competitive games.
Yes,
you drew twice,
failing
to score.
Yeah.
You played a friendly, 2 friendlies.
Yes,
you lost 1-1.
Yes,
you lost against supposedly minnows. How come is the minnows we're having problems with? And
now the results you've listed out. Now, if you put it on Olisa's CV, it's a good record.
That you played 4.
Yes.
You won 1. You drew 2, and you
lost 1.
I think
it's a good record.
And the quality of the teams: Swaziland, Tanzania, Congo,
Cameroon.
I
will beat Cameroon.
And we needed a red card to aid us in beating Cameroon.
My brother,
I don't think it's.
My brother, the bottom line is we beat Cameroon.
That's why a lot of times I say statistics don't always tell the true story. Yes, on paper the statistics are 4 games, won 1, lost 1. In itself, it's not fantastic.
Let's
when you look at the quality of the teams again, you begin to ask questions. But that aside, the truth is this: if you have a student in your class, or you have a kid, or you have a staff in your office, and you know this staff can deliver beyond what is delivered. Yes, it's giving you okay results. Because as far as I'm concerned, what the Super Eagles are doing now is just okay results. But you want beyond that. We want the Eagles of 94, where when teams come to play us, they know they are going to get beat and beat well.
Well, it is the final whistle on Hotsports. What do you think? Should we have incentives like this to continue to motivate the Eagles, particularly now that we are getting into the crucial stage of the World Cup qualifiers, and we still have the Nations Cup qualifiers also for the Super Eagles? Will incentives like this continue to boost them and push them towards getting the required results? We leave it to you to contribute through SMS and through our social media platforms so that we can air your views on the program. That is how far we can go on Hotsports. We'll be back again next Saturday.